Give me the moon. Lulled by its raccoon in the city of Venice, dreams and dances under scattered cotton petals of snows. Winter has arrived and the wind blows. The cloud, huddled close together, gathers at St. Mark's Square. Marcello, a Venetian poet, plays his violin. Even the clouds pause to listen to him play. With his head bowed over his instrument, he doesn't see how moved the young girls are watching him. He only sees the pretty girl Eva in her cotton dress, deeply touched by his beautiful song. They don't speak to each other, and they don't need to. The violin sings of their new friendship. But because of the words that no one said, Eva has doubts about Marshall. Sometimes I would like to be a violin, to be held in his arms and to feel his cheek against mine. But Marshall doesn't speak. He plays his violin. He doesn't hear my words. He only listens to his music. And he doesn't pay any attention to me. Kind Vincent heard Eva. He had secretly been in love with her for many years. He went to her and promised her the world in return for just one kiss. Nothing that you could offer me could ever be as beautiful as Marshall's music, she said to him. But Eva, he offers his music to everyone. All you have to do is ask, and I'll give you something that no one else could ever possess. He replied, ask me for the moon, and I'll give it to you. But she didn't want the moon. She wanted true love. She wondered if it was Marshall she loved so much, or only his music. Eva continued to wonder about this when one night Vincent climbed up to her balcony and tapped on her window. He was holding a long golden thread, and tied to the end of it was the moon, full and round. Vincent, how did you catch the moon? Eva asked. I just told the moon that I loved you and it let me come near, he replied. Vincent kissed Eva. Their hearts were beating. And the moon carried the lovers away. Eva no longer thought of Marshall, but the musician had not forgotten her. She was no longer there to listen to him, so he stopped playing. The young girls walked away. Handsome Marshall, who had always been a little proud, didn't want anyone to know of his sadness, so he wrapped his heart in a thick armor to protect his feelings and keep himself from being hurt. But at night, when no one could see him, he huddled up in his garden and cried. He cried for Eva's absence. He cried for the emptiness he felt, and he cried because he didn't understand why the music no longer floated through his fingers. High up on the moon, Eva caught sight of Marshall and was moved by his sadness. Two tears ran down her cheek, bounced off the edge of the moon, and taking moon dust with them, landed on the earth. One of the tears sank into the soft ground and wrapped itself around the seed that had been asleep for a very long time. In just one day and one night, the seed sprouted and grew, and a big brown tree shut up. It was a special tree with a wide, cavernous trunk. Its leaves were shiny and silver, and it was strong and impressive, while all the other trees were gnarled and bare. The following night, Marshall was on his way to the garden when he noticed the new tree that had suddenly appeared. At that very moment, the moon came out, and Marshall saw his beautiful Eva. Eva, please come back. I can't play my music without you. Eva, he said. But Eva was too far away and did not hear him. For the first time since the young girl had left, Marshall picked up his violin and played. He played the sweetest notes, but Eva still couldn't hear. I need a bigger violin, an instrument that can carry my music to the moon, an instrument with a deep voice that will tell Eva that she's my muse and my friend. Marshall looked at the big tree lit up by the night, and he decided to take it home with him. He cut down the tree, sanded it, and polished to make a new instrument. Then he took his new instrument up to his highest balcony of his home and began to play. It was like a violin but bigger and rounder. Marshall had to sit down and play between his knees. When the bow played the lowest notes, the trees nearby trembled. At this time, Eva heard the music. Sitting in the crescent of the moon with her eyes closed, she listened to Marshall's music, calling to her. She had missed the music so much. It was a poem, and it carried her away, singing all those words she didn't know how to say. Hearing the beautiful sound of Marshall's new instrument, the Venetians opened their windows and their shutters, and still half asleep they listened. Some, guided by the far-off notes, got into their boats and floated toward the music. A strange crowd gathered underneath the balcony. No one moved, no one spoke. Everyone was captivated. Marshall played on, and his music woke up Vincent. Where's this music coming from? Who's playing that? Who's playing like that? Everyone wondered. In response, the birds chirped. It's Marcelo, Marcelo. But the night swallowed part of the words, and the people only heard it cello, cello, the violoncello. The music was so lovely that it brought peace to everyone who heard it. But Vincent was nervous. Eva, my darling, if he's the one you love, then go to him. I'll understand. As soon as dawn breaks, you shall become a dove and fly to him, Vincent said. If you decide to stay, you will become a girl again before midnight, and you will stay on earth forever. But if you want to come back, I will wait for you. Dawn broke, and Marshall was still playing. A dove landed on the tip of his instrument. He did not look at it, but he knew it was there, and it inspired him to play notes that were even more beautiful. Marshall continued to play all day, discovering this new instrument that revealed his thoughts and feelings so well, an instrument with a voice so similar to his own, but capable of expressing emotions that no other sound could ever express. Evening came, and still the dove didn't move. Marshall felt alive again thanks to his new instrument. It was true that Eva inspired him to play beautifully, and he loved her dearly. But he wasn't in love with her. He didn't love her in the way that makes you lose yourself, as though in a dream. A note touched Eva in a secret place, a place that she had forgotten. It was low and soft, and it felt like a kiss. She trembled, and then she understood. It was a music she needed, not Marshall, even though she was very fond of him. When the note echoed inside her, she heard Vincent's voice whispering, I love you, again and again. Marshall stopped playing, placed the cello on his knees, and stroking the dove said, Thank you. They understood that from now on their lives would lead them in separate directions, and they parted. Eva watched the moon slowly rising, and with a flap of her wings, she flew back to Vincent, her true love. Marshall continued to play forever for Vincent and for all those who need music in their life. I am one of those who need music. The beauty of the cello touched me deep down and told me this story, which found a secret place in me, a forgotten place that has come to life again. Listen close and let yourself be carried away by the power of these deep strings, this warm wood. Let the notes enter. They know the hidden pathways and will whisper stories to you and even secrets, perhaps.